everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman, and today you are tuned in for a vacation smoky eye look, so stay tuned. Let's get started with the tutorial. So as always, I wash my face and prep my skin with skincare, and now it's time to prep my face with kind of canceling out any darkness or discoloration. So I'm going to start with Bobbi Brown Corrector and Bisque. And as you can see, I have barely any left, but you don't need a lot. And even if you feel like you do, you want to work in really light layers. So I'm just going to take my ring finger and gently tap that into the skin, making sure that I'm going into that little inner corner, because we always get a little bit blue, a little bit purple in there, especially if we, if our diet is suffering on vacation or our sleep is suffering on vacation from having a good time, obviously. All right, so that's all done, and then now we're going to prep the eyelids with NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. What a long name. And I'm going to split that between two ring fingers, and I'm going to take that from the lash line all the way up to the brow. This is really nice for not only prepping the skin for eyeshadow, but for also getting rid of discoloration, and you can also bring it in on that inner corner too, as long as you have the right shade, and that also helps counteract any discoloration. Sometimes when you're moving fast because you're on vacation, you kind of miss some of those details, so just kind of going over them again is kind of a nice option as well. Alright, so everything is ready to go. I don't really have any discoloration in my face that I need to worry about, so we can get started with the complexion. And because I'm going to be using one of Lisa Eldridge's new liquid eyeshadows, I know that I'm not going to have any drop down from darker shadows, because we're going to work with more lighter shadows in the crease. I feel pretty comfortable going in with concealer and foundation right now. So just very lightly creating those two triangles right there, and then I can kind of play with how I want to, with how far I want to bring it down. And because I'm using the shade 4.5, which matches my skin tone really nicely. If I were going with like the 4.25 or the 4, I might be doing more of a highlighted look, because it would be a little bit lighter than my skin tone. But because this matches my skin tone, I don't need to do a full-on sculpt, because it doesn't make any sense. It's basically just acting like foundation at that point. If you're wondering if you can bring foundation up as your concealer, you can. Here's the thing. Concealer is like a thicker, more concentrated pigment-wise foundation. It's also been tested around the eyes, whereas foundation has not necessarily. And again, the foundation won't necessarily give you that coverage. I also feel like every time I brought foundation up there, it does tend to crease a little bit more for whatever reason. I think, again, because it's not formulated for that really delicate skin around the eye. But a concealer usually kind of stays in place, because that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to work underneath the eyes and then also kind of camouflage any spots or bumps that you might have as well. So I'm going to use the same brush, as a duo fiber brush, for my foundation. I'm going to do one pump on the back of my hand, and you can either just like go in with your brush, or you can do the dots. If you go in with the brush just from the back of your hand, I always feel like I end up using more product, even with the duo fiber. But if the dotting method just kind of makes you take your time. It also gets the product on the skin, and anywhere where you put product on the skin first, it's going to give you the most color, because basically what we're doing is we're blending out the edges from the spot where we put our foundation in the first place. which is why we don't put foundation around the hairline, because our hairline generally doesn't need a lot of coverage. And just working quickly, but working in small sections. And this also, not only does it give you control over how much product you're putting on, it also just gives you control over the product a little bit more, and it makes sure that nothing is drying down in funny spots on the face. So depending on your foundation, some of them dry very quickly, and you need to be aware of that as you're putting on your foundation. When I used to work at Sephora, we were trying out new foundations all the time, and there were a couple that if you put it, like if you dotted your face and then tried to blend it out, half of your face would just be dots because the formula dried down so quickly. Especially with all this new technology and the serum foundations and things, there's a lot of evaporation happening quite quickly. So just be aware of the products that you have and what works best for you. You will figure it out very fast if you can take it directly from the back of your hand, or if you can dot your whole face, or you need to work in small sections. So totally up to you and the products that you're using. So now I'm going to set with my pale yellow powder. One of my kiddos got into my powder yesterday. I'm going to use the BK Beauty, this is the 108, which I haven't used in a while, but I'm feeling like, you know, you're on vacation, hopefully someplace warm, and probably just want to set through the center of your face for your awesome date night, because we're going to add a little glow, of course. And we can always go back in and powder. That is the nice thing about a smaller brush, is that it allows you to kind of work in small sections, and then you can always go over again with a big brush. I'm going to grab my highlighter, which I absolutely need to repurchase. I think I only have a few more applications left before it is all gone. I have used this up very well. I don't know if you can see that, but there's hardly any product in there. Going back in with my duo fiber, I feel like for a date night, you just want to, if you can, take a little bit more time. Use those brushes instead of your fingers, because the lighting is different for dates, and it just makes you feel a little bit more special too. Don't forget that doing your makeup should be fun. It should be enjoyable, and especially for a special thing like a date, it's nice to just take maybe 5 more minutes and just go for it and have some fun, and like listen to music or watch a makeup tutorial or something, and just get you excited about the thing that you're doing next. So now we're going to prep the eyes, and I'm going to use the Rock and Kohl. Bedroom Black. Little dashes right on the waterline. I'm going to let that dry down while I do my brows. I'm going to take my angle brush and go into Brun and Sandstone. And anywhere where there's just like some sparse spots, that's where I'm going to fill in. I am going to do a darker eye, so I don't want the brows to be the hero of the look. I'm also going to leave bronzing to the end and blush, because sometimes that can get distracting with a darker eye. And just making sure that everything is nice and even, not spending too much time, but we also don't want to look lopsided. Okay, it is time to start the eyes. So this is called Titania from Lisa Eldridge. It is a beautiful antique bronze shade. It's a doe foot applicator, and you just put it right on your lid. just like the Giorgio Armani. From the lash line all the way up to that crease socket. Relaxing the face. I mean, wow. It does have some glitter and some shimmer, so there's no question that the eyes are definitely the star of the show. Alright, so now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to take BK Beauty Brush 207 and I'm just going to soften that socket area. So just really lightly making sure that we have no harsh edges. I am going to go in with eyeshadow and also soften that. But sometimes it's fun to start bringing that up just a little bit higher. It also gives your lid a moment to dry down, which is nice. Because I always feel like cream shadows, they just need a little time. A little time to dry down. Okay, this side is just a little bit higher than this side. So what we're going to do is grab just a little bit of extra product and make sure that those two sides are balanced. I think I just brought it up a little bit higher on this side. Okay, same thing. You can just see how beautifully and easily this blends out. Yeah, she did a great job. Okay, so much better. This also allows you to put less product in your, or not in your eyes, but on your lid because, and in your crease, because now you've already brought that darkness up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go in with my 217 and here are our shadows that we're using. So here's vanilla, this is Swiss chocolate, and this is cork. So a little bit of cork just on the tip of my 217. And just really lightly starting to blend that into the crease area, into that socket. Doing those windshield wiper motions. I don't want to make the rest of the eye too intense. I want to keep the focus on that lid color. So we're just going to take our time, make sure everything is nice and soft. And this is where those extra 5 minutes really come in handy so that you can do a little bit more detail work. For date night, why do we focus on the eyes? We focus on the eyes usually because dates for me equal eating. So I don't want to do a really beautiful lip saturated look and then have it be destroyed because I'm eating a burger or food in general. So that's why I usually concentrate on the eyes for date night or events where you're going to be eating. I'm going to take a little bit of cork and put that underneath my eye. on that lower lid. This shadow almost has, the lid shadow almost has a little bit of green in there. So I have green eyes. My green eyes are really popping. This would also be really beautiful with hazel eyes as well. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my pencil brush into Swiss Chocolate and just kind of create a little bit of a liner. I don't want to do a liquid liner. Number one, because we're on vacation. And number two, because again, I want that shadow to really be the focus and I don't want it to become about my liner. You could definitely go in with something like Brun as well, or Espresso. But I'm just really playing up those colors that look good with green eyes. I'm also probably, even though it's on vacation, I'm probably going to wear like a black dress if it's a fancy occasion. And this would look perfect with black. Even though I'm wearing my I Love Snow sweater. All right, that is looking smoking, which is exactly what we want. Okay, now we're gonna amp up that lash line with DIOR primer. And then we're gonna take stock of what's going on with the rest of our face. Where do we need to balance out more color, or if we're feeling pretty good. I'm definitely going to add a gloss, either Songbird or Muse, again from Lisa Eldridge. Songbird has a little bit of a peachier pink. Muse has a little bit more of that dusty rose. Going in with Smokey Eye Mascara, getting right into the lash line. The roots, and just wiggling that brush up, coating as necessary. Again, with a look like this, you can really go for it with your mascara. There's always a point when you can tell that your lashes are like, please don't give me any more mascara, and then you need to stop. Otherwise you're gonna get spider lashes. Okay, so we're gonna take a step back. I'm gonna look in my mirror that's off camera this way. I'm gonna take my fingers and just pick up any excess shadow that's happened to fall. I'm still feeling a little shiny on my nose, so I'm gonna go back in with my pale yellow powder and just kind of take down that shine through the center of the face again. Make sure everything's nice and set. I am going to add a little bit of blush, but before I do that, I am gonna go in with Muse. I think that's going to complement the look a little bit better. And then I'm going to take my blush powder brush into Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. And that's feeling a bit too much, so I'm going to go back in with my Duo Fiber and just, you know, I don't have any extra foundation on this brush, but I'm just going to use that to kind of blend that out. So that is the look. Thank you guys so much for watching this vacation smoky eye tutorial. This would be great, again, for green eyes, hazel eyes, brown eyes. It will look good on blue eyes, but it's going to pop the other eye colors a little bit more. This is a pretty quick and easy smoky eye to do. It doesn't have a ton of products, and the star of the show is absolutely the eyeshadow. So thank you again for watching. I do beauty videos every Friday, fashion videos every Wednesday, and Mondays we are tackling very specific events happening in your life to make it easier. So thank you again for watching. Hit the thumbs up and the subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!